I come like behind the camera, right? Kind of adds a little drama there. And then I slowly turn kind of towards the camera. See what I did there? Good morning, Laker fans. Good morning. Kind of waited right till midnight. I got close enough to wait until midnight where I'm like, well, I might as well just wait till midnight. Just get the show going at midnight. Just, that was not a good display right there. You know, Laker fans, that's the best that I got today. It's the best. I feel like I played in an overtime game. I know, guys. I know. I get it. I'm reading them all. So damn late. Late Sliwa. I got it. Laker fans, what do you want me to do? Remember, this is post-game show number 2. Like, I got also the other gig, right? So I come on after. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Subscribe to the channel if you don't mind. Please subscribe to the channel. Okay, we got a lot to get into. So whether you're watching this live or you end up just catching it a little bit later, I wanted to at least give my breakdown of the game. I appreciate you guys tuning in so late. It is late. It's late as hell. But what do you want me to do? I got to get one of these in. Got to obviously do a post game after the post game for my YouTube people. So I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Okay, so I'm going to give everyone just a quick idea of what I want to get done tonight or what I want to get done this morning. I want to talk about the actual game. It might have been the ugliest game that I've watched in a long time, and I'm not kidding. That was a really, really ugly game. I want to talk about certain individuals. I thought Dennis Schroder probably won the game for the Lakers. I thought LeBron James had a lot of weird moments where it didn't even really look like a LeBron James. Okay, let's see what else I want to get into. AD's decisions towards the end of games still make no sense to me. I'll get a little bit into that. And then I'll also just kind of break down Lakers surviving. That's it. They survived. And what you do is you just survive and you move on. So we'll get into all that stuff. Memphis Grizzlies, Dillon Brooks already had some comments I thought was interesting. So I'll get into all that. So let's start off with just the game here. Let's do that here real quick. This was ugly. What the hell was this game? 108-102, and they played 53 minutes of basketball. Do you know that the Minnesota Timberwolves scored 16 points in the final 17 minutes of the game, 12 in regulation, 12 in the fourth quarter, and then 4 points in overtime? That was a really, really ugly game. And I think you could put some of it to, hey, they were tired. Every player on the Minnesota Timberwolves, all 5 of their starters played over 40 minutes. You could do that with the Lakers, too, that are just kind of grinding out the rest of the season and finally got through the regular season. And then here they are. Sunday was their final regular season game. They got to turn around and play a game on Tuesday. You could credit some of it to that, but that was ugly basketball. And what's funny is Minnesota dropped 60 in the first half. And then in the second half, it just kind of completely went away. They still had a decent third quarter. They had 26. Lakers were hanging around. I think Lakers got it down to 7 by the time the start fourth quarter, and it almost felt fortunate that they were only down 7. But that just wasn't good basketball, and there's no really other way to put it, but it wasn't. I thought for the most part in the game tonight, there was no real flow for the Lakers. I thought even though LeBron was putting up points, and he was efficient too, he ended up 12 of 21. There was a lot of plays from Bron that were just really odd. Bron just making mistakes. Maybe his mind is thinking one thing, but his body is doing another. But Bron had some interesting moments, to say the least. D'Angelo Russell was really bad, 1 for 9 in a game like this. And I'm going to go back to it. I think Dennis Schroder kind of saved the game. Rui as well. Rui had some big moments, and he was in there for ended up playing, I think, 26 minutes. So Rui and Dennis Schroder had the highest plus-minus in the game. And I just think overall for the Lakers, just complete survival mode. probably should have won this game. And if Minnesota didn't have some of its collapse, by the way, if you thought 1 for 9 was bad from D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards was 3 of 17. The dude just kept jacking up threes, even though he couldn't hit a three. I would think in my mind he decides, all right, he's going to start driving the ball, but certainly wasn't doing that. So it was interesting to see. Definitely interested to see how the game was kind of playing out. And there were plenty of times I thought to myself, I'm like, yeah, this 100% Lakers are going to lose this game. And then they would just kind of hang around, or Minnesota would just make a number of errors or a number of mistakes. Eddie, you're right, playoffs indeed. And every time I kind of start, thinking that the Lakers were going to be out of the game, Minnesota would make a mistake or take a bad shot, and the Lakers would just kind of hang around. They're like, okay, I guess we're still in it. And then also, the other part of it too is the moment Anthony Davis fouled Mike Conley at the end of regulation, he fouls him over the corner three. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, if he hits all 3 of these free throws and the game goes to overtime, I think the Lakers are going to lose the game. I just don't think they have any gas left. And they just found a way to make what Rui hit, I think, the first 3 in OT, and then Dennis Schroder hit a shot, and they had a 5-point cushion right out the gate. So it's a fascinating game. I saw some people hit me on Twitter saying that both teams should be eliminated. I thought that was pretty funny. But overall, it was kind of a head-scratching game. I don't think anybody really thought it was going to be like that. It was going to be that bad of a game. But it wasn't a well game played on both sides, and both teams were trying to not lose rather than trying to win. I thought getting the win was so critical because the Lakers look like they're playing on fumes right now, and if they had to come back and play another game on Friday against either New Orleans or OKC, and anytime you're in a 1-game elimination, even if they win that game, you got to just imagine that they're gassed. Then they got to go up to Denver, and they're playing in high elevation. So it was so critical that they won this game, and they somehow found a way to get it done. Minnesota, I give them credit. I mean, I really do give them credit. Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert, obviously out. They had key pieces that were out of the game, and some of them just from making their own poor decisions, like Jaden McDaniels or Naz Reid, where you just don't have a choice. He just was out of the game because of an injury that he had. But ultimately, Lakers got what they needed. You had to walk away with a win tonight, and the Lakers found a way to do it. So that's the best way I can describe it. I will tell you guys this. I think that in a game like tonight, it's a good example of sometimes it doesn't have to be pretty, but you just got to walk away with a win. And maybe a team that's got a couple more veterans, or they got guys that have been there before, or Dennis Schroeder's crafty and can get to the free throw line. He was 8 for 8 from the free throw line. I think he took more free throws than Bron and AD combined, or maybe they took 9, he took 8. But either way, it's just survive and advance. And they survived in advance. It almost reminded me of a March Madness game. It really did. All right. Let me read off a couple of your comments here. The T-Wolves had 0 pressure, and they shot like it most of the night. Not in the fourth quarter in the overtime, tell you that. People sleeping on the Warriors, a really good team. Watch them push Nuggets to 6 games. So I'm on the camp of I thought the Minnesota Timberwolves were a pretty good team. But not having Jaden McDaniels, not having Naz Reid, who's a big piece. I watched them. They had a stretch a couple weeks ago. I watched them on NBA League Pass where they beat Sacramento on the road, Golden State on the road, New York on the road. I'm like, damn, they're starting to look good. So I was on the Minnesota camp. They're probably still going to get in, I imagine, beating whoever it is, New Orleans or Oklahoma City. But you got to be healthy, and they're missing a couple key players. So I don't know what it is. And also on top of that, Anthony Edwards, arguably their best player. You can't have a game like that and then think that you're going to win the game. That's. I mean, if they'd have won this game and Anthony Edwards had that type of performance, I don't get it. Okay, real quick here on Dennis Schroder, and then I know I want to read some of these comments. Let's just see. They just aren't getting AD involved enough on offense. It's killing the team. Yeah, sometimes it's them not getting him involved. I think other times there's a lot of isolate. Like when Braun came in, I felt like they don't even look at Anthony Davis. And then when it was AD just in, they try to run everything through AD. So they got to be smarter on how they use him. I agree with that. Okay, real quick on Dennis Schroder. Save the game. Best way I could put it. I don't know if you guys remember this. Probably a couple months ago. Dennis Schroder was going through a stage with the Lakers where he was playing good. He was chipping in. He's a fighter. I think it was the game where he rolled his ankle really bad, and we all just thought he was going to come out of the game, but he actually stayed in the game. And today he had a similar situation. Um, Give the man his credit, Laker fans. I'm not telling you it's perfect every night. Sometimes he goes 1 of 9 from the field, and he's not all that great. But to have your backup point guard be Dennis Schroder, played 33 minutes for the Lakers, was so much better than D'Angelo Russell. Ended up with 21 points, had the highest plus minus of anybody that played tonight on either team. It's impressive. It really, really is impressive. And again, if you ask any team out there that, hey, you could get Dennis Schroder be your backup point guard, they're taking it in a heartbeat. They're taking it. They're excited to take it. So to see what he was able to do for the Lakers, he just brought an energy, a tenacity, picks up full court. He's very crafty at drawing fouls. He does that swing through, right? Like just finds way to time it, and he's a really good free throw shooter. So once he gets to the line, it's basically 2 points. He gets them at the right time. He was great tonight for the Lakers, and I really do feel that when I say it. I thought he was a difference in the game. Okay, let me read a couple more of these comments here. Let me see here. Lakers defense on point. It reached the point where it was on point. Not in the first half. Let's see what we got here. Hit the like button. Maybe even subscribe to the channel. I mean, I'm just saying. Sounds like a great idea. All right. Slee was still telling everybody's still telling me that I'm late. I know I'm late. Okay. All right. Ugly win, but still win. You're right. I will tell you this. Can't play like this against the Memphis Grizzlies. All right, this is gonna actually take me to my next one. What we got here? AR, Uncle Slee, ugly game, but we got to win. About Memphis, can we still one of the 2 games in Memphis? That'd be good. What do you think? Okay, so let me say this. Very ugly win. Very ugly win. Not ideal. The last week the Lakers have played, I'm gonna break down the last week for you guys. And this is actually a perfect example of Lakers basketball. If they play like they played over the last week, our season's over in Memphis. It is. And I'll explain to you what I mean. A week ago, last Tuesday, it's Wednesday now because it's past midnight. Last Tuesday, they played in Utah. Utah didn't play any of their guys. They had to go to overtime. Probably should have lost that game. Lost the next night to the Los Angeles Clippers. Wasn't a game. Clippers were up 19 at half. Basically blew them out. I know Lakers tried making it interesting, but the Clippers basically blew them out. Next game against Phoenix Suns, played with their food the entire time, and eventually won that game in the final couple minutes of the game. And then the last game of the season against the Utah Jazz, played with their food. Guys had to play big time minutes and then eventually won the game. Okay, sounds good. It was great. They won the game. They locked up that number 7 for the play-in, but they didn't look good in any of those games. And then tonight against the Minnesota Timberwolves, an undermanned Minnesota Timberwolves team, they didn't look good again. So I think with this series coming up against Memphis, I would just, I think this rest is going to be everything for them. These 4 days that they're going to get, they don't play Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They got a game Sunday afternoon. It's actually a noon start here. It's 3 o'clock out there. They got some time to rest, and I think rest is the most important thing right now for the Lakers. Hands down, no question about it. It's the most important thing for the Lakers right now, in my opinion. But their style of basketball, what they're doing over these last 5 games is not good enough to go win you a round in the playoffs against a Memphis Grizzlies team that's waiting there. It's hungry. They want to play against you, all that. Now, there's some advantages. Steven Adams is out. Brandon Clark is out. But they didn't have Minnesota didn't have Rudy Gobert, and they also didn't have Naz Reid, and that didn't really seem to affect them too much. It affected them, but you know what I'm talking about. They were able to make do with what they had. So to answer your question here, can we still win the 2 games in Memphis? I got to be honest. I think sometimes they say, all right, a series doesn't start until the road team wins a game. I think you kind of got to split against Memphis. I think you have to. I think if you're down 2-0 to a young Memphis team that's got all the energy in the world, and now you have to win 4 of the next 5 games, that's a tall task. So can they win? Of course they can split, get a win out there. But you got to see better basketball too. This tonight's game was not encouraging. It was a little discouraging, right? Like you look at it and you say to yourself, by the way, thank you for the super chat there. You look at it and you say to yourself, like, all right, that wasn't exactly the best game that wasn't exactly the best game that the Lakers could have played. And I don't think it's a game that you watched and said, oh, that gives me a ton of confidence against the Grizzlies. I think it tells me go get some freaking rest and regroup. So that's the best way that I can describe that. Never underestimate your opponent. Lakers came out flat. You can't do that in the playoffs. True. You're right about that. All right, let's see what we have here. My heart is still in recovery after that game. Yeah, that game, a lot of emotions in that game. That's pretty funny. Bro, I attended the last 8 Laker games at Crypto, and I'm still tired from just going to the games. Too many games in 3 weeks. Players are super tired. Lakers, I mean, it was jammed. That's why tonight, can you imagine tonight they ended up losing that game, and then all of a sudden now you have to play another game on Friday, and then you got to start a series against the Denver Nuggets if you get through. I don't think they would have got through. I think they would have probably won Friday. They get a couple nights off, but then to turn around and have to go up against Denver, I would not feel confident about that. Rui played well too. Give Rui his credit. Hey, I'm with you on that. D'Lo took a night off. D'Lo, took a night off. This will be interesting. Dennis Schroder is basically playing for another contract. He's going to get another contract, whether it's with the Lakers or not. He's definitely going to get another contract. That I could tell you. Let's see what else we got here. Conley was cool as Hugo. Man, that's one of Mike Conley. Gotta be honest with you guys here. That's an easy guy to like. That's an easy guy to like. He really is. Mike Conley is that dude is a pros, been in the league a long time. You should have heard Darvin Ham complimenting him left and right and everything else. That dude's a stud. He really is. Ugly, but still Winsley. I sent out a tweet right after the game. I'm like, look, nobody's going to be looking at this. Minnesota or the Lakers are not going to say, remember that game. Lakers and Darvin Ham's not going to be going into a game against Memphis saying, guys, all we have to do is play like we did against Minnesota on April 11th at Crypto. No, he's not. But they won. So that's what you got to take out from this bad boy here. Have I told you guys about subscribing to the channel? What'd you miss? You missed a little bit of this, huh? A little bit of that? I got you, bro. When somebody said I should get a punching bag, it's not a bad idea. I really like the idea. But this isn't my studio. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day. Guys, I have thoughts on this channel. I have big ideas for this channel. Just not right now. Just not right now. All right, see what you got here. Is it me or the Lakers more focused on the road? Yeah, it's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know right now if it's coming down to that or it's coming down more to just fatigue. I really do believe that. I believe the way the Lakers are playing right now, fatigue has a lot to do with it. You should have heard Darvin Ham, LeBron, everybody was talking about, like, we need the rest. We need the rest. And for them to have that much rest before they go up for their next game, that's big time. So, but listen, going on the road, this is the beautiful thing once you get to the playoffs. They're going to get to go to Memphis and be in Memphis for a few days. So they're going to get that opportunity to focus on one team, to kind of make your adjustments. You don't have to travel. All right, the game ends. Now they got to get back. You're going to get proper rest. You're going to get much better rest in the postseason than you were getting in the regular season. So that is definitely a good thing. 4 days rest, best thing that can happen, no question about it. That wasn't really a revenge game. Yeah, definitely not a revenge game. It was more of a revenge game for that was actually more Minnesota saying, hey, that's why we went out and traded for Mike Conley and got rid of D'Angelo Russell. Okay, let's see what else we got here. If we upset the Grizzlies and Clippers lose, Leo, what if we upset the Grizzlies and Clippers lose in the first round? Oh, that can definitely happen. I don't think Clippers are beating the Suns. I think it's a coin flip. I think it's a. I wonder what Vegas will have it for Lakers Grizzlies. Memphis could win that series. No question about it. For those that are just saying to themselves, "Oh, Lakers are fine. They're going to go through this." I disagree. I think it's going to be a series versus the Grizz. Don't be surprised if that one's coming down to 7-game in Memphis or 6 games or something along those lines. This is not going to be a fast one by any stretch of the imagination. And they could 1,000% beat the Lakers. My question is more of the youth and, obviously what they have in regards to how young they are and everything that how much that plays into their advantage. It's updated now. 438 at 12:22 a.m. OC O'Neal. Okay. All right. Let's see what we got here. I already got this. Lakers will sweep Memphis. All right. Well, there goes my whole analysis of saying that it's going to be a series. All right, let's see what else we got here. Find some more. There's a lot of comments, Laker fans. We got a lot of comments. Aren't you guys supposed to go to sleep? Did you guys have work? The hell's going on here? I thought I was going to be on here, and it was going to be 4 people that were on here live. 3 of them were family members, and 1 of them was my own account, my own YouTube on the side. Let's see what else we got here. All right. I think it's going to be a series against Memphis. Did you guys hear what Dillon Brooks said? I'm going to find Dillon Brooks' comments real quick. I had him earlier, then I took him off. Let me read you Dillon Brooks' comments. Dillon Brooks on playing the Los Angeles Lakers. This was before it was determined that they were going to play the Lakers. So he says, I wouldn't mind playing LeBron in a 7-game series. The legacy is there. First time back in the playoffs. Knock him out right away. That'll test us good. They got good pieces, good players. That'd be a good first-round matchup for us. I'm going to go back to the one thing that he said. First time back in the playoffs. Knock him out right away. That's Dillon Brooks. So Dillon Brooks has really, really made a name in this league for running his mouth. He really has. And I got to be honest with you guys. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I think it actually makes for interesting story. As long as people are not like completely disrespectful or they're doing stupid things, I'm good with the chatter and the running your mouth. However, you got to back it up because then it just doesn't mean anything. I was telling Michael Thompson in the pregame show today that Dillon Brooks runs his mouth like he's a Hall of Famer and a 9-time All-Star. And I'm not telling you that I don't like his game. I'm just telling you that, man, that man runs his mouth a lot. My question is, if I'm Dillon Brooks, and maybe this is just his style and it's all good, but again, I'm going to go back to this. Your mouth can only do so much. You got to be able to back it up. I don't know if my strategy for LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers is, yeah, let's just go ahead. We're going to knock him out in the first round. I want to go up against LeBron James. How about a little reverse psychology? How about a little? I'm not going to give them any extra juice because it is somebody that's been to the finals 10 times. They are a team that actually, um, since February 9th, call a couple days after that, the team comes together. They won 18, they went 18-8, now 19-8 since over their last 27 games or whatever that math is. I don't know if it's the best strategy to take. I respect that he's calling out LeBron James, but you got to back it up. That's it. You just got to back it up. All right, let's see what we got here. People saying that dude is definitely running his mouth. Definitely running his mouth. All right, let's see what we got. Yeah, you've got a lot of people that Dylan should be careful what you wish for. I'm with you. Now, listen, I'm going to go back to this. If you back it up, then you could talk all you want. But if you keep talking, like he talks all the time about the Golden State Warriors, but you got to win a series against them. I think that's when that talk becomes louder. It's going to be fun to talk about it. I mean, I got my radio show coming up. I think in 30 minutes it's going to start because I'm still here and it's 12:30 in the morning. But it's good content. We're gonna talk about it. A lot of people are gonna talk about it. It's gonna make for a great storyline. But at the end of the day, whatever you run your mouth about, you got to be able to back it up. All right, let's answer a couple of these and we're going to call it a night. I'm going to go till 30 minutes. At 30 minutes, I'm going to get the hell out of here. Warriors or Kings? I really, really want the Sacramento Kings to hang in this series. I really do. I really want them to make it a legit series. But if you said you got to pick one, I have a difficult time picking against a team that is coming off an NBA championship, that has championship pedigree, and just has been there and done it before. So I would love to see Sacramento hang. I just don't. I don't think I see it happening, to be honest with you. Well, when I say I don't see it happening, it could be a series. I just don't see Sacramento beating the Golden State Warriors, but I'd love to see them beat the Golden State Warriors. It's my own personal ask there. Okay, let me read a couple of these questions here, and then we're going to call it a night. If you guys want to fire in some of this, you can feel free to put any of wherever you're tuning in from, and even if I don't read it off, it will be a part of the chat whenever people come on. We'll see all those that are on there. Yeah, that's what the second round would be. But to be honest with you, I don't even right now anybody that's thinking Lakers Warriors. I don't think you should be talking or worrying about Lakers Warriors. No question about it that Lakers are going to have. It's going to be a series against the Grizzlies. I really do believe that. I think it's going to be a series. Vox, the most underrated point guard in the NBA. He's getting his love. I think he's getting his love more. And probably doesn't get the respect. I was listening to Draymond Green's podcast. He was kind of talking a little bit about the series with them, and he actually talked about De'Aaron Fox. I think he might have had him on one of his shows and said, you got to take this team to the next level. They traded Tyrese Halliburton for you to take over the team, and it was really good. Some people thinking Kings in 5. Some people thinking that it's going to go a lot quicker. Warriors can't win on the road. True, but the Warriors find ways to win championships. So I don't know what you want me to tell you. Man, we got a lot of people. Okay, so let me hit on a couple things here, and then we're gonna call it a night. Lakers escape. They escaped, but they won the game. They move the hell on, and they get ready for Sunday. I think it's going to be a series against the Grizzlies. I think to put a bow on this Minnesota Timberwolves game tonight, Lakers got to play better basketball. If you're going to move on in the playoffs and you're going to be a real threat, get the rest that you need. Get ready for 2 games in Memphis. You know that place is going to be rocking, and see if you can get the split. That's the only thing that matters. But they got to play a lot better basketball than the Lakers played over the last week. Laker fans, I hate to say goodbye, but I got to go get some shut eye. We got another show coming up tomorrow, so I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Lakers out of the play-in tournament. Lakers in the first round. And I'll try to get one of these up. We'll get another one of these up. I'll try to do a live stream here before, maybe on Friday or something like that, before we get closer to the first game. So thanks for tuning in, Laker fans. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of your night. And we'll get back with you guys soon. Lakers, Grizz coming up on Sunday. Thanks, Laker fans.